Shocking! This elephant cries and begs for help. The reason will shock you. Witness the astonishing story of an elephant with a massive hole in her trunk, leaving everyone in shock and disbelief. Park rangers and locals alike were baffled by this unusual sight, sparking countless theories about the cause of her injury. Ranzakyle, meaning loved in Shangaan, made an appearance east of Boulder's Lodge during the month. She's unique because she has a massive hole in her forehead from where she does most of her breathing. Her abnormality is said to be from birth. However, this hasn't stopped her from living a normal life, raising a calf and moving through many areas of the greater Kruger National Park. Her disposition has allowed us to observe her life in great detail, to see how she has adapted, formed close cohesion with her herd, and opened up a new elephant story for many of us as field guides, trackers, and our guests. Looking at her head, her obvious feature catches your eye first, but then you start to see other differences too. Her eyes are more slanted, pulling the skin inwards from the hole in her trunk, and her eyes. She's got deep folds below her ear holes, pulling the skin from her eyes to her ears, and there's also a permanent wet stain of mucus running down her trunk from the hole. Ranzakyle's condition is remarkably good, especially after this year's exceptional rainfall where the grass and trees have been abundant. High in nutrients and water has been available all over. Feeding is no problem for her. However, drinking is facilitated by sucking up enough water that it doesn't reach the hole in the trunk and then bending the trunk, lifting it up and spraying the water into her mouth. Although Ranzakyle and her herd have moved on for now, I'm sure we'll bump into her again in the future. Here's another miracle that happened. This is the incredible moment an elephant trumpeted in distress after an antelope fell into a pool in its enclosure. Footage shows the elephant, 60, in obvious distress and pacing up and down the side of the pool as the antelope struggled in the water at La Aurora Zoo, Guatemala City. Visitor Maria Isabel Diaz Ruiz de la Reina filmed as the huge animal wailed and even appeared to offer her trunk to pull the animal out of the pond. Maria posted the video on Facebook and wrote, "Today I was lucky enough to witness something very beautiful. An elephant seemed desperate to warn zookeepers that an antelope was drowning. In the end, it was rescued by a brave worker. Several times, the anxious tusker seems to offer the deer its trunk to try and pull it free. But as the elephant paces around the edge of the pool, one heroic zookeeper dives into the water to lift the antelope out. Finally, the elephant seems to calm down as the deer runs off to rejoin its herd, and onlookers let out a massive cheer." Zoo vet Alejandro Stridinger said Trumpeta appeared to show affinity toward the antelope as she shares her enclosure with the species. But Stridinger added that the antelope was never in any real danger, as the pool has islands and shallow parts so the animals can always get out by themselves. He said the incredible scene was very beautiful. Trumpeta is 60 years old and has been at the Guatemalan Zoo for 14 years. She was rescued from a local circus where she was raised and forced to perform routines. Trumpeta's amazing feat follows images of Sri Lankan baby elephant appearing to leap onto the back of its friend to take a rest. Photographer Patham Bandara said he was amazed by the sight. Mr. Bandara, 34, gushed, "Baby elephants are very helpful, and whilst I was observing a herd of over 200 elephants, I spotted these two messing around. The little elephant looked like he was trying to steal a free ride as he rested on another. He looked so mischievous as he looked in my direction." When we save animals, we save our big universe. This is the inspiring moment a mother elephant was saved when vets conducted CPR by leaping up and down on her chest as her young daughter watched on. The 10-year-old bull and her baby calf, one, had slipped into the concrete drain amid heavy rain in Nakhon Nayok, central Thailand, yesterday afternoon. A storm had made the grass wet and muddy, causing the pair to fall into the 7-foot deep hole. Torrential monsoon rains made it nearly impossible to retrieve the pair, with vets mobilizing a cherry picker to pull the huge mammals out of the drain. But after the mother hit her head and was knocked out cold, her life was suddenly at risk. Incredible video shows the mammoth 3-hour operation to pull the elephants out to safety and then save the mother. Lead National Park vet Dr. Chananya Kanchanasarak said it was impossible to get near the baby while the mother was nearby, so we gave her 3 doses of tranquilizers, but she moved towards her baby before passing out and hit her head. Park rangers feared that the mother would try to cry for help from the 30-foot herd nearby if they forced their way to pull the baby, so they called the vets. While the mother was passed out in the hole, the baby elephant, who was trapped the night before, suckled milk, which gave vets some relief. A crane was used to pull the creatures out of the muddy drain before the vets continued their work. The moment the mother touched safe ground, 3 vets jumped on her to revive and wake her up, as the impact of falling on her head could have hurt her. Fortunately, the mother elephant woke up. Park rangers and vets left the scene to allow the jumbos to reunite and be joined by the huge herd. Dr. Chinanya added despite the obstacles, the mother did not leave her baby's side. This experience touched our hearts and will be one of the most memorable rescues we've done.